to All-Star Fantasy Recap, everybody. No, you're not dreaming. Don't pinch yourself. Don't scratch your head. Don't rub your eyes. It is Dan the man. Forget all that myth and legend stuff. Just the man, Maltese. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Matt Amy, and the champ, Joe Maltese. You might be wondering why we're here today, why I'm the host. Well, reason one is because I'm the one seed in the league, and I feel I can do whatever I want to do. And today I feel like being the host, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. And for two, we got a matchup this week between the two biggest rivals, I should say, in our league. You're looking at both of them right here. This rivalry's been building since we've been shooting the basketball in the front yard to see who gets what draft pick in the horse game, and it's culminating this week. Week 9, the last week of playing new teams, playing the team that you haven't faced yet, and we've all been waiting for it. Thanks for coming on the show today, guys.
Thank you for having us here, Dan.
Yeah.
On my show.
I think before we get into the rundown, on your show, yeah. I think before we get into the rundown, I was wondering, and I think a lot of the league was wondering, a simple question as to why, and there'll be time for trash talk throughout the show, and we don't got to dive too deep into that. But why you guys pitted against each other? Why were you trying to steal each other's draft picks? Why were you probably rooting against each other throughout the game of horse? What fueled this rivalry right here? Why you two? Whoever wants to.
Let me take this? All right, well, started off last year when we did this league. I noticed a lot of it was Joe and me like to think a lot alike on this. Then when we draft, how we build our teams, how we go about things. I mean, we do have a little bit of differences here and there, but, but my thought is, since two like teams, why not go after each other? And obviously, you see, that's the man holding the belt right there, and who wants to go after the guy in last place?
Yeah.
Go after the guy that's sitting on top right now and knock him off his damn high horse. That's the way you got to do it.
Well, you couldn't go after the guy who was in last place because that was you. It's a little hard to do that one, folks. But
True there.
in all fairness, it was 8th place. I just by default last place, but
that's what he tells himself.
that's what I tell myself. Yeah,
You know what?
It's what helps me sleep at night.
Yeah.
So Joe, why Matt? Why is it because he's just been bitching on you all year? Or?
Well, I think that's how it started. You wanted to come at me, and understandably so. I'm the champ. I'm the best. I had the best team last year. Maybe things haven't gone the way I've wanted to this year so far, but you know what? This week will make this entire year worth it. Just to finally shut you up and put you in your place for all the smack you've been talking, and show you why I am the champ.
All right, well,
Let's see it.
Well, we'll have time to dive into, like I said, a little bit more trash talk throughout the week. We want to do the regular rundown here. We don't want to take up a whole shitload of time. Obviously, as you look down at the bottom of the screen on the YouTube channel, you're probably realizing that this is the longest video that we posted so far. So might have to watch this one in shifts, but I just want to kind of tend to go into the same format that we've been doing the past handful of weeks when Matt was the host, of course, and that starts with last week's recap. Go game by game here, and I'm going to start with Matt on this one because this is there's a little personal tension here between me and Matt. Hey, he's lighting fires under everybody's ass this year, and I'm just his latest victim, so to speak, or he's my latest victim, or whatever, however you want to look at it. But the contest between me and Eric. Blowout of the week, the deficit was 61.8 points. It was 120.1 to 58.3. You said I would lose last week. You said it would be a close matchup, but I've been hearing unlucky, I've been hearing bipolar, I've been hearing a couple different things. I'd like to know, has that changed? Do you still think the same way about my team? And what do you think about Eric's team on 2 losses in a row?
After beating the number 1 team, I got to give your team finally a little bit of credit there. I mean, it kind of helps that Arian Foster tore his Achilles. Have fun with that, Eric.
The keyword being Achilles, right?
Huh?
Achilles,
yeah. Arian Foster's torn Achilles. Achilles. And I think that's going to be, once again, Eric's Achilles heel this year is going to be, Arian Foster, and I think that's going to be the downfall of the season. But Dan, you've been able to hang solid every week. I mean, you beat the two best out there. You beat me. You beat Eric. So what's stopping you from being number one at this point? Congratulations, on holding down number one. But it's a long season.
It is that.
If you finish number one in the rankings at the end of the year, but you lose the championship, you just become fucking Patriots.
Yeah.
That's all you are at the end of the day. So,
well, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how the matchup. We'll see what you think of the matchups coming up in this week. But yeah, obviously Eric's team 2 losses in a row, facing a halfway difficult team this upcoming week. We'll get into that.
And let me tell you though, it helps you once again though that Eric only throws up 58 points, and magically you find a way to play the absolute worst scoring team of the week, week in, week out too.
I was waiting for
that.
that.
I don't understand how it's just I'm 4-4 right now. I've scored the most points in the league, and you just prance your way into the playoffs right now, and it's almost as sickening as that damn belt on his shoulder. So,
but you gotta live with it.
It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You just play who's on the other side of the field from you sometimes. So
I just want to add on to that matchup. Eric, you didn't beat yourself this week, so I think we can finally get rid of that term.
Get rid of that excuse.
There's no such thing as beating yourself in fantasy football, my friend. So didn't mean to pile on there, but yeah, we need to lose that term from the
0-2 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No such thing as beating
no
yourself.
No such thing as beating yourself.
We'll jump to the next contest here. That was Caesar and Matt. Probably the second most important contest. Caesar and Little Matt, of course. Probably as far as the playoff picture goes, probably one of the most important contests of last week. Caesar beats Matt 101.5 to 89.7 with a deficit of 11.8. Your thoughts on these two teams? What did you think before last week? Did you think Caesar would come out on top, or?
Well, going into it, I was thinking Matt would finally put an end to Caesar's little streak there. He's
not so much, huh?
Yeah, he amazingly put together five straight wins now.
I think it is. Yeah, he went 0-3. Now he's 5-0 in the last 5 weeks. So.
Yeah, finds himself as the 3 seed right now. So that's pretty impressive.
Helps when you have the number one waiver priority for 3 straight weeks, but
yeah, the top waiver wire pick, which you always know he's doing that. He's made about 15 billion trades, so that always helps him. Just to note, the trade deadline is in 3 weeks, so Caesar, if you want to get in 15 more trades, then do it before that. But
you probably will.
Yeah. So
at least 15 more offers.
So
how about the injury to Matt's team? The big Le'Veon Bell shot.
Yeah, that was a huge blow for his team. You saw right when it happened, you knew it was a serious injury, and ends up being out for the year. Luckily, he got D'Angelo Williams, so won't be as good as Bell, obviously, but should provide him solid flex RB2 value. But it's gonna be interesting to see if his team can recover from that, because he's right in the thick of it of borderline playoff teams right there.
Sure, I think he's one of the 500 teams in the league. 4-4. So, yeah, definitely a huge win there for Caesar, and he's right in the playoff mix to say the least. Moving on to Matt with the third matchup of the week, which was my dad defeating Ricky. This was a close shave of the week. We actually had a lot of close deficits this week, but this was the only single-digit one. 87.9 to 78.2. That was a 9.7 deficit. My dad coming out on top, kind of pulling off an upset. I know you had Rick winning in the video last week. What do you think about these two teams?
Well, what do I think of these two teams? I think they're 500 teams at best. They're going to be teams that they're going to fight for that 4th playoff spot, but they're more than likely going to hover around the 4 or 5 or 5-6 spots in the league. So as far as Ricky,
not quite playoff teams, but
no. If anybody's going to make the playoffs, it's going to be Ricky, just because of the volatility of his offense. Your dad's team, on the other hand, though, I think even with Roethlisberger back, I think it's too little, too late at this point.
Okay, yeah, he pretty bad week for Roethlisberger coming back with Breeze going off as much as he did.
Exactly.
He wish he had on to the fourth matchup, of course, your own matchup. Joe came out on top against Mike with a deficit of 27.9, which was the second biggest deficit of the week. 116.3 to 88.4. Your thoughts on that matchup? Do you think Mike was a cakewalk, or?
Yeah, I really wasn't going into that with too much worry. I felt pretty good about my team, and I think this is like the first week where I had everyone from my team kind of come together. All my bye weeks were done. I had finally had AJ Green go off for me after that trade, pulled that off. So yeah, everyone just kind of came together that week, and that's basically what I'm looking for my team to do the rest of the way. So now that everything's together, I got bye weeks out of the way. I think I can put up those numbers against anyone.
All right. Well, big words heading into week 9 against the big rival,
Especially this week.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Last matchup of the week, your matchup, Matt, against Brian. Brian got off to a hot start after the first few games of the week there, but 109.6 to 95.6. Brian put up a real nice score, almost triple digits, but still lost by 14. Did you predict? Yeah, obviously you predicted the win last week's video, but
Of course. I mean, the thing to be said about Brian's team, and the score doesn't really reflect this, but 31 of his points were Odell Beckham Jr. It helps when you go for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns with one guy. I mean, take that down. He's pretty much just Eric at that point. I mean, hell, even Mike would have beat him without Odell Beckham Jr. But at the end of the day, just another week, another opponent. Eat, conquer, sleep, repeat.
Hey, that's what we like to hear on All-Star Fantasy Recap. WWE references. That's number one priority here. So, just to touch on maybe your guys' guesses on the top 3 points. I don't know if you guys looked at that. Take the records out. The top 3-point scorers of the league. You guys want to give that a shot, or see how accurate you can get with that?
Let me give this a shot, champ, because I know exactly what it is. It's myself sitting up at the top, and it's 2 other people that don't really matter down below me. So,
Okay,
unfortunately, you only have a 500 record, so your points don't mean too much. I'm not doing it. Yeah. So I'd say to round out that top 3 is probably you're coming in at second. I would say.
Nope. Not me.
Oh, Eric.
Eric's number 1. Yeah,
Ricky.
Eric's number 2.
And then Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky's number 3.
Oh, so Ricky. You and Ricky, two 500 teams with a lot of points. So unless you get those wins, that's what matters first, my friends.
That's what matters first. You got to rack up the wins. That's first priority, obviously. But it just goes to show how competitive the league is, right? I mean, the number 1 seed, not even in the top 3 with the points, and there's only 4 teams that have averaged over 100 points a week. I was the 4th one on that, getting over 800, but you're at 850 pretty much right now, 849.6. Eric about 20 behind you, 25 or so behind you with 821, and Ricky right there with 816. So pretty close coming down the stretch. Who knows? Those will probably. Does Ricky and Eric have the same record? I think right now, or no? Eric's got one game better. So those point totals there cover up close. Could mean a real lot come week 12 last week of our regular season. So I kind of want to jump into a little bit of a change. I'll do it as soon as. I decided to come up with a new game instead of the one-word adjective game, the buy or sell type deal like that. I came up with my own idea, and the name of the game is called Who They Be Like. That's the name. That's the name of this game, and pretty simple premise, pretty simple rules to it. I just want to give each of these guys 2 teams each, real quick, in and out. I know these guys. Obviously, I know these guys' knowledge about the multiple different sports, whether it be hockey, football, baseball, basketball. So I wouldn't be able to do this with everybody, but what I want to do is I want to give them a manager's name in our league. And I got an example here that I won't use in the game. Brian, for example, want them to tell me a real life team that say that manager reminds them of. So if I said Brian, the example I used was the Minnesota Twins, because back in the day they always seemed to get right there in the playoffs. Being a White Sox fan, they screwed the White Sox seemingly every year out of the number one spot in their division, and they'd get in and they'd lose right away, and they'd never be a threat in the playoffs, and they'd always seem to, especially by the Yankees, they'd always seem to get beat. But with Brian, it's no specific team. He just always seems to be in the playoff hunt, make the playoffs, but never really be a threat, and never really come out on top. And he's yet to win a championship in any league that I've been in it with him. But you know,
Might as well just call him LeBron James.
or you could do a player comparison if you want as well. I was going to mention that. So not just teams, but players as well. I'll give you guys one each simultaneously to start off, and have you guys both think about it. Whoever comes up with their answer first can go first. I was going to give you Matt, little Matt. Think of a team or a player that, as a manager, he reminds you of, and I was going to give you Caesar.
Okay.
And these are teams, obviously. I excluded Mike, my dad, and Eric out of this because I kind of wanted these guys to dive into the history of, you know, not even really just the basketball, or not even just the football league, I should say, but past basketball leagues and past football leagues. We're in a hockey league now. The entire history culminating together. What team do these managers remind you of?
You ready for the champ to go first?
Go ahead, Jim.
All right. So when you said Matt, I don't know why. First thing that kind of came in my mind was I'm gonna go off a player on this. I don't know why. I just kind of thought of like like an Andrew Luck in a way. He came into the league as a rookie, and when Matt came into the league, I think it was his first. I think he made the playoffs his first year. Maybe first or
in
second.
that 18 league or whatever we had, I think he was in there.
Yeah, so kind of like Andrew Luck, he came in, he made the playoffs right away. And then he was still making the playoffs, and he kept doing better, and he kept getting like further and closer. Matt, he came in right away and made the playoffs, but now, as we've seen with Andrew Luck this year, Andrew Luck's imploding. He looks like a garbage quarterback and doesn't look too good. Matt kind of hit that moment this week, I think, with losing Bell. Losing his number one pick just kind of puts a big damper on his team. So we've seen that in the past. Yeah, he's gotten to the playoffs. He's done good. He's matched up well with other teams. But I don't know. I think now this season, similar to Andrew Luck, it's going to be a struggle for him to get in the playoffs.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Because of both of their situations, I guess. But
All right, well, I'm going to use a team on this one. I'm going to use a recent team here. I'm going to go the 2015 New York Mets for Caesar.
okay.
And by New York Mets, I mean sucked at the beginning of the year, hit their stride, about the middle of the season, and just making a prediction here, got their ass whooped in the championship game. So, Caesar, enough said right there. You're gonna make it, but you're gonna come up short.
All right, that's pretty solid comparisons right there. You guys picked up the game faster than I would have if I got that.
Give you props on that one, Shane.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because the next, and like I said, I just wanted to do 2 rounds of this. The next round, I want you guys on each other's teams. What have you seen since you guys have been
I want to go first on this one.
If you got an idea already, please.
I got an idea of this one because, God, I hope you were going to give me this opportunity. And I'm going to give you a player comparison. And my player comparison is Kobe Bryant. And, not a bad comparison. You're good. You're a champ. You're at the top. But guess what? At this point, you're over the hill. You're broken. You're damaged. And it's just all falling apart below your feet. You just need to, give up at this point. Your season's done. It's a lost cause. The only hope you have for the rest of the season is beating me for 1 week.
That's more than a hope, my friend. That's a guarantee. You're gonna see just who the champ is. I swear. All right. So I gotta pick a team for this guy's team.
Yeah,
This
you
guy's
gotta pick one for this guy's team.
disgrace of a team. All right. Let's see. Well, you looked really good on paper to come out.
Ooh, I have a feeling I know where this is going, but okay.
you look really good on paper, but so far you're fizzling out. Your team hasn't come together, and you only had 500. So I'm gonna go to a team, but I'd say it's from a team in the past, maybe a few years ago. So you're basically the 2010 version of the Miami Heat, for example. You came out, you talked a lot of smack. You might as well have had a parade for yourself. You did all that thing, you talked, and your team looked great on paper, just like Miami's. And what did they do? They lost to the Mavericks in the finals. So
Something we should do next year, give me a parade for the champion, the future champion.
yeah, I didn't say anything about the future. This is just for this team. So
Having parades during the draft, pretty much.
I
Yeah,
could have done with a parade.
Game
Parade would have been nice.
yeah, similar to Miami, they have
before a game was even played.
Right, before the season even started. So
They're up there on stage.
exactly, and that's how I see your team. You look great. Now you're not doing anything. When it comes to the playoffs, maybe you'll be there, but you're not going to win it all.
Strong words here, guys. If this pencil was a knife, you could cut the tension here, right down the middle. So
If I have my hands.
I got this belt. There you go.
the Dems fighting words. All right, on to the next section here, guys. We just want to get the predictions for this upcoming week. Obviously, a section that most owners look forward to. We'll obviously save the big matchup for last year. Don't want to dive into that quite yet, but we'll start with you, Joe, on this one since we started last with Matt. On the matchup between me and Caesar, what do you think? As far as the playoffs go, this is probably the biggest matchup of the week, arguably the number one seed. Caesar trying to put another notch on his winning streak, his 6-game winning streak. What do you think? What's your
Yeah.
predictions?
Well, like you said, and we've already talked about it already, Caesar's team is hot. They've been doing good. He, ran off 5 straight wins there, but seems like you're kind of hitting your stride now too. You had a couple hiccups there. One was against me,
Yeah.
and
One was against Brian.
right. So
2 teams under 500.
yes, but I think since then you kind of got your stuff together. Seems like kind of looking at your team and seeing who's the consistent starters instead of switching things around a lot like was happening earlier with you. So I think you're gonna end Caesar's little streak here, and you'll take the win on this one.
All right. No close shave, no kick ass. Saving that one, you think?
Yeah, let's save that one for
Save
now.
it. In one word, who do you think is winning that one?
Caesar.
Caesar. All right.
Close shave.
Close shave.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that was 3 words.
Nice. Breaking the rules already, I guess.
Yeah. It's my show.
Not this week. Second matchup, Eric versus Brian. Have your comments on that? These two teams that you'd almost thought would be role reversed, I should say, coming into the league, where you got an experienced guy like Brian, you thought he would be at the top. Instead, he's at the bottom, and Eric, not so experienced, you thought he'd be like middle towards the bottom. He's right there in number 2 seed. So
Well, I've taken Eric these past 2 weeks, and he's let me down. But Brian's team, I mean, after even he's got one player on there that can put up points, and Eric, even after the shit show that he put up last week, he's still in second place for a reason. I'm going to take Eric in this one just because he doesn't have a tough matchup this week. It should be something he just bulldozes through.
Okay.
But Brian proved me wrong. Move me up a spot.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm rooting for him this week. I know that Eric's right on my ass. So big win for me last week to get a little separation there. But I could use Brian's help this week. So hopefully you're wrong on that one. In one word, your prediction for this one?
Eric.
Eric. Okay. Sounds good. Moving on to the third one, Dad and Mike.
Well, I'll start off by saying I think Dad's going to win it pretty handedly. Now that he's got his team is, I think they're pretty much done with their buys as well. So he's gonna have Gronk every week. You got Langford to replace Forte, so you can slide him right in there. Jonathan Stewart's been doing real good, so when you get a 3 rotation running back like that, I think he's gonna be able to put up some points. Like I said, Gronk can put up points in a hurry. Now he's got a debate between Breeze or Roethlisberger. Maybe has a little bit of a conundrum there, but
A decision most owners would like to have, right?
Yeah,
Between
that's
Breeze,
true.
Roethlisberger, 2
Right.
all-star quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's a good decision to have to make.
yeah. So despite some of the losses he had, he lost Joseph Randle. He's completely gone now. But again, he has McFadden, so he's been able to replace well. Yeah, I think he beats Mike, and it probably won't be close. So I'll go with that. That should be the ass kicking of the week.
Ass kicking there.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt? Your thoughts on that?
I'm taking your dad, but that's just because Mike sucks.
Okay.
So
Hey, you lit that fire under him the week before you guys faced, and he came out on top. But
hey, every
Sticking
blind
with it,
squirrel
huh?
finds a nut. So
there you go. All right. Well, on to you for the last matchup before we get into the reason why we're here. Little Matt against Ricky. 2 pretty promising teams going at it here. What's your thoughts?
you know, I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna go with an upset here. I'm gonna say Little Matt's gonna take it here, but I'm also gonna call this our blowout of the week.
Oh,
This week, I'm going to take Matt in a blowout. It's something that I don't think anybody's predicting to do right now, especially with the injury to Le'Veon Bell. But like I said, Ricky's team's just very bipolar. Is the best way to describe it. I mean, he does put up points, but he also throws up some really terrible games sometimes, and I think this is going to be one of those weeks for him.
it's like not only an upset, but a bold prediction on that one with Matt over Rick, but also being the ass kicker of the week. Your thoughts on who you think is going to win this one? Is this you haven't used your close shave yet, so
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the ass kicking of the week. I'd probably say it's going to be a close shave of the week,
Close shave.
actually. I think both teams are pretty even as it sits. They both had big losses to their top running back.
yeah.
And they're kind of in that same scenario. I'm just going to take Ricky just to be different from you because I don't like agreeing with you as always. So,
Sounds good. Hey, again, tension, knife, cutting. So, speaking of tension, speaking of promo cutting, whatever you guys know what I'm going to say, I want both your opinions on this one. No one-word answers here. Let's start with the champ this time around. Go ahead. He's lit enough fire under people's asses this year. Let's let you light one under his. See how he responds.
well, for me, I'm facing reality. This is probably the end of my playoff hopes here. I've already hit that point. So now, for this week, this is my playoffs. This is my championship game. This is why I hold the belt, though. I'm going to prove to you why I'm the champ, why I've been one of the top 3-4 teams in this league for as long as it's been. And you proved how shitty you were last year when you ended up with the Sacco. So I'm going to prove how shitty you are this year with your shitty little team that hasn't done anything, with your big mouth that's doing a lot of talking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to beat your ass so you shut the hell up. And then that'll end any of your smack talk against me on this wonderful little show here in the future.
Joe, I give you credit, man. You hold that title, but let me tell you, when it comes to trash talking, that's almost as bad as your NWO costume from Halloween. It just, like I said, and I'm so glad I finally get to say this to your face. I don't have to talk into this stupid camera anymore. I get to look at you one-on-one and say this. I am so ready to take that goddamn belt right off your shoulder. I am so ready to stop watching you prance around with that damn thing going, the champ is here! You are as sickening as John Cena is on a daily basis with that damn belt. And let me tell you, I am one Jimmy John sponsored t-shirt away from taking your ass to Suplex City this week. And god damn am I going to enjoy beating you down. Oof.
I'd love to see it, but you comparing yourself to Brock Lesnar, come on. I don't think you could even agree with that.
I got the size in the sweatpants. It all works out.
Well,
Right.
we got the butterflies out. We got the tension rolling now. I'm a guy that likes to throw twists and turns into things, and normally this would be this section where we do the call outs, and the special guests would call out somebody else, or in some cases call out the entire league or whatever.
I would like to call out somebody real quick. Joe, I'm gonna, you're just a given, but Arian Foster's torn Achilles.
We can't stress that enough. When you put this on YouTube, title it
Arian Foster's torn Achilles. There you go. Yeah. I like that. That's a good title for this.
But he kind of said it for me. Obviously, the call out of the week would be pointless at this point because they've just done it. We know who their answers are going to be. We know who their call outs are going to be. There's no surprises there. So, in true, as I said earlier, we like the WWE references on here. And in true WWE form, we're going to go with the old-fashioned contract signing. If both of you guys adhere to the terms of the contract, and here I have, let me go up close here, an official legal contract. I don't know if you can see that. The light might be too bright, but it's an official legal contract because it says so, and I wrote it on there, and I'm the number one seed, so like I said, I can do whatever I want, and I choose to be a lawyer who can write up contracts now, so that's what I want to do. But
notarized.
I'm going to have them both initial and both sign. I want to read the terms and the agreement out to you guys first, and I'll let these guys go at it and have at it. If they're man enough to sign, then they shall do that. But here's the terms. This agreement hereby confirms that the loser of the Week 9 fantasy football contest between Matthew Amy and Joe Maltese will not only have to take back every word that he said towards the other in a negative connotation, but will also have to bow down and kiss the winner's feet while repeating the line, "You are a fantasy football god." And that'll it's implied in here that that's going to happen either on one of these videos or at the end of the year. Maybe we'll all get together on the last Sunday of our fantasy football season and do a passing of the title and whatever over here at the house and just watch football all day on a Sunday or something. But my point is it'll be done. You guys will see it if they both agree to it. If they both man up, take the pen, take the pencil, I should say, sign it.
All right. Just want you to know on this, I am wholeheartedly signing this, and I want you to know at the end of the day, you're going to be strapping that title around my waist, champ.
Well, if I'm going to be strapping this around your waist, I'm going to have to put a couple more notches in it, ain't I?
All right. Well, you know what? While you're holding on to that, let me hold on to this for a second like I will all season long next year. This will be mine because I am